Emilie, this is too vulgar. I'm going to have to leave. This is too vulgar.
There's a reason we call summer in London the season.
You follow me, you know you'll never beat me. You might be pretty, but this is my city.
That is like pretty much one of the worst things. If you get called vulgar by a Brit or a Southerner, you have committed some cardinal sins.
I would die.
Okay.
I would die. Hello, everyone. This is But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio. This is our Ladies of London. We are in season 4, episode 8, Bad Manners. There were plenty of bad manners to go around this episode. Woo! Micah was having a real stroke the whole episode.
I have to say, we all know that like we're not huge Micah fans, but I have to say that I'm super impressed that she didn't have an aneurysm on the spot.
Well,
okay?
I thought for a minute that there was a moment I was like, oh my God, Micah, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I will say, I might be coming around to her. I don't know. It's like the jury is still out.
She's growing on me a little bit. Like this episode, I think it's because we saw a little more of her natural hair. I'm saying natural, but not natural, but it wasn't at least so like, slicked back or whatever.
Really quick, before we get into it, I got a little bit of business. Jeff always teases me about the business. So remember, go to either Instagram or our TikTok at Take a Pinot Pod, and you can see our schedules because we've mixed it up a little bit. Tuesdays and Fridays are the vintage VPR. Obviously, Ladies of London, you're listening to it now. It comes on right after the show drops. Monday night is the Top Chef, and then Wednesdays is our mini episode where we talk about book recommendations. Well, Jeff talks about book recommendations. Sundi recommends rural trashy TV, and we pull for our mini challenge. This week, Jeff had to make a purloo. Nobody knew what purloo meant. He did a little bit, but that's like a Gullah Geechee jambalaya. But he had to make it kid-friendly, so both Shep and Ethan ate it. I will let you watch the vid to see how that was. Wherever you get your podcasts, rate us and review us so that way we can kind of get heard by the algorithm. Okay, so that's the business. And before that, too, I do want to remind us, previously on, I am fascinated by previously on because what that means is the editors are showing us what they think we need to know for this episode.
Yeah, it's like the highlights, but that like pertain to what's about to happen.
Right.
I do always find that really interesting to see what they like to highlight.
And because we get screeners, thank you, Bravo, thank you, NBC.
Thank you.
We never really see the next on, so the previously on is kind of where I want to pay attention. So we flash back to when Micah's dumb mustache brother was in town and they did those workouts, right? And all Martha wanted was a damn cigarette. But Margo thinks that Mark is really mean and that she's getting left out. I'm getting bullied. But Martha thinks it is because of his heart of gold is why he's being such a bitch about it.
Because he just wants to make people laugh.
Right.
And I do get that. I mean, because, if you're going to be funny, sometimes you might have a little,
Much is made about
sharp wit.
British humor and American humor, and we'll get to it in a minute, but I think this is kind of where they're trying to point us in the direction. We remember the polo event with the dead pigeon, and Margo overheard them talking. Did we know this before this episode? Do we know that she heard them talking?
I think so. I feel like I knew that. I feel like that came up on the last one where she was like, they're obviously talking about me.
Well, yes. I just didn't know that she actually heard them, or maybe is her story changing?
You wore a crazy feathered coat to a My Fair Lady party, so yeah.
Well, we saw where the inspiration
Or was that
came
the
from.
polo? That was the My Fair Lady,
My
right?
Fair Lady was the crazy one. The ripped jeans was the polo.
Yeah, that was terrible too.
But Mark's over. He's like, you know what? I'm happy if we never speak again. And I am loving Lottie more and more because that whole thing was like, you obviously do care. You're crying, you're hollering, you care about it. Stop caring about it and nobody is going to keep on. And that is a sort of a theme of this episode here.
Yeah, like Margo, if you just have a sense of humor and laugh some things off, it's going to like keep rolling along. But I think that Margo knows that. Don't you think she knows that?
I will talk about it more because there's some examples.
I think she's just trying to make herself relevant.
Yes.
And so the more conflict she can create, I think she thinks the more interesting she is.
And it also keeps
or the more relevant.
It keeps her in the spotlight. And Lottie says, that's you giving a shit. Stop saying you don't give a shit and then turn right around and give a shit.
Right.
And we get the invitation to Longleat, which in pop culture terms called a bottle episode, in which they do not leave the space. It's only one location. I believe this episode and next episode are going to be like exclusively Longleat.
Okay, I have to say, this Longleat day, longest day ever. I could not believe it. Like, the amount of activities that they kept throwing into this episode, I was like, oh, wow, it's still this one day.
Go back and listen to any of the previous podcasts where the cast takes a trip. Like, I think there was a Sheena bachelorette party, and they did, like, windsurfing and rock climbing. And then on Top Chef last week, they did whitewater rafting. Stop making fucking activities. Now, I will say, these Longleat activities are more in line with me. But there was a lot of locations. There's a lot of location changes in this one. But before we get there, we do this very, very well-tread trope of them packing. You see that in a lot of different housewives.
But do you see people speaking Italian to their butlers as they pack?
No. First time.
Okay, I felt like that was a first for me.
And his vintage Louis Vuitton.
The luggage on this episode was worthy of
we got
this,
a vintage Gucci.
Yes, Martha with the vintage Gucci suitcase that I have the purse that matches.
I knew it. And
I knew Martha and I were soul sisters.
I've seen you carry that Gucci purse before.
I love that purse. But now that I've seen the suitcase, I might have to go.
Well, I know it's very tacky to talk about money, but if you had to give an estimate of Mark Francis's Louis Vuitton luggage, how much? Because he had the trunk and then he had the carry. Like, how much do you think? Are we talking?
Oh, tens of thousands of dollars.
Are we talking 50,000? Are we talking 75,000?
I saw the hard-sided case.
Yeah.
He had a trunk with him. He took a trunk with him?
Didn't he? Or did I just sort of impose that? Because it seems like he would have a trunk.
I mean, I'm sure he has several Louis Vuitton trunks, but I don't know if he took one for, like, a weekend.
I don't know.
Micah's
Micah's rolling deep with her, like, 3 carry-ons that she's doing. Oh. Micah is worried that they're going to go on safari and she won't be prepared. So she has to take safari clothes.
Obviously.
Margo didn't give a fuck. No shit. I don't know what to do. Like, Margo, do you have the internet? Like, can we just sort of like take a pause and you just do a quick Google? Like last episode when your idiot stepchildren are talking about Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves of 4th of July, you idiots. Google it. Google what Longleat is. Google it all. And then that's where we get Mark speaking Italian to his assistant butler or whatever. So then we wind up at Longleat. And we meet Emma's...
Wait, before we get to Longleat...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wait, we're not going to discuss all the car rides?
Well, actually, we pop to Longleat to watch Emma
you're right,
getting ready. Mm-hmm. And that's where we meet Iris. And I am reluctant to comment on Iris's hair.
I'm not commenting.
Because I just wrote, is that a hat? And the fact that Emma did not mention it or they did not include it in the edit makes me feel like that is her hair and that's just what it looks like all the time. And I do not know anything about Iris, so I don't want to make any assumptions. It was a lot.
I love that, but
this person had a lot of hair. Did you know anything about Longleat before we started this episode or started the show?
Never heard of it before in my life.
Me either, but apparently it is a real big deal. We learned a little bit about Longleat, and it's a huge deal. Everybody knows about it. It is kind of a staple. I think Lottie even mentioned that she was there as a kid. And so not only...
Which I said was 4 years ago.
Because Lottie's very young. And she's also growing on me. Get back to you.
Yeah, so, I like her better in this episode.
Not only is it a nature preserve or an animal rehabilitation, but it is an Airbnb cottage situation. Mm-hmm. And it is also an event center.
And they have the Disney Jungle Cruise.
Emily added Disney Jungle Cruise. They don't call it that. But yes, there is a lot of... They have a Love Maze.
Have you been to Disney World? That was the damn Disney Jungle Cruise is what it looked like they were on. Same boats, okay? Hippos coming up out of the water and everything.
And sea lions.
That is the Disney Jungle Cruise.
I have some questions about the animal side of the safari. I'm going to get to it in a minute.
Okay.
But... it's like if you wanted to go and like play country house for the weekend, and I may be mistaken. So y'all, Pinot Squad, come at me, but I feel like she said that these are available for Airbnb rentals. I feel like that's what she said that in the previous episodes.
You asked that while we were watching it, and I had missed that, but that would be amazing. And
I just wonder how much it fucking is.
If so, field trip, like, let's go.
I do not know if we can afford to. Well, I don't know if I can afford to stay at Longleat, maybe one night and then just like go back to the Holiday Inn down the street. But
okay, well, I've added it to our what to Google list.
Got it. Okay, so that's yeah. Okay. So, but by the way, we are adding a section. Everything that we don't know and we don't Google during our segment, I am going to like Google it in the interim, and so the next one you'll get answers. So I have answers for some of the questions that we asked last episode. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Okay, but again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are
already at Longleat, and I still am talking about the car ride.
Yeah. So that she had to give Micah a job.
Right. Micah is in charge, you guys. So, I mean, I work with children, and what Micah reminds me of
I knew you were going to do this. Fucking knew you were going to do it. But go.
So one of like the interventions that I sometimes give as a suggestion to teachers when they have a child who just really needs a lot of attention and is really like hard to manage is like, hey, give them a job and make them feel important. And I would put money on it that is Emma saying, Micah, you are kind of a problem child sometimes. So let me give you the job of like, you get everybody in the cars. Because Micah felt so important and let everyone know that she was in charge.
Needed to feel important too. And she probably sent Emma 300 texts. What can I do? How can I help? What can I do? Thank you 100%. So much. Thank you so much for inviting me. How can I help? What can I do? And so Emma was like, just get the motherfuckers in the cars.
Well played, Emma, on picking the correct job for Micah to feel important. And also, actually, that was probably a necessary job with this crew. Okay,
well,
somebody needed to like corral them.
Well, she got a good job because she divided them into 2 cars. Okay.
Oh, so, did she do the division?
Well, I'm gonna assume because she was in charge of it.
Because we had a fun car and then we had
M car,
other car, and in the fun car, can we just like discuss Kimmy and her booze bag?
I mean, I have a booze bag.
I love her.
When I go
this is fabulous.
When I go to the movies, I have my purse. My purse is clinking because I have miniature wine bottles in there. Like that is, you don't go. And everyone's like, you know what? Any journey with Kimmy is going to be a good time.
That's right.
Yeah.
My best friend from college, one of my favorite things in the world, she had the best grandparents ever. They used to come and tailgate at the Auburn games with us, and like we all called them grandmommy and granddaddy. Like they were just like the universal grandparents. And they had a hard-sided briefcase that was granddaddy's that popped open and was a bar. And I mean we have a shaker, we have our glasses. And so my friend Nancy, like when her grandparents passed away and like all the grands are like going through the house and picking stuff, she's like, that's all I want.
Give me it.
I need the drink suitcase.
Kimmy calls it her personality enhancer.
Yes.
So, but really quick, the M car is Missy, Margo, and Martha. And the good time car is Micah, Lottie, Kimmy, and Mark. So right there. And we've already talked a little bit about how cliques are starting to form. And Martha really deserves to be in the good time car, but she's so diplomatic. She wants to ride in the M car. And they're like, yawn. Oh, the M car needs a nap. Meanwhile, they're over here just like talking about everything. And then, so did
you notice though that if Micah was the one who split them up in the cars, she put herself in the fun car?
Yeah, she put
herself. That's well played.
Yeah,
because you would not have landed in the fun car on your own, Micah. Yeah. So good job.
Yeah, she's no dummy. So then, while they're traveling up, and we're bouncing back and forth between Emma getting ready and the car ride and everybody else, and so at Longleat, Emma just talks about her whole life is just logistics. And we get more of that. It unfolds more and more as the episode goes on.
She's managing a lot. Yeah.
So
she's impressive.
She is. But it's super weird. Like living in a public space. And she talks about it later. Like
the whole idea of it is bonkers to me. That you're living in this house that is a tourist attraction.
And like they flash around to like the spaces that they're going to be at. They all look like public spaces, and it just feels like a public space. And I don't know how you live and feel comfortable. She even talks about later how she's like downstairs in her nightgown and people are like, oh, hi, Emma, how are you? Very strange. Another thing for us to Google next time, jot this down. Why is Emma a celebrity? Why are they recognizing her? why are these people so happy to get a glimpse of her? That's a thing. And maybe it's a Meghan Markle situation, but like less so. I don't know. But then,
well, I'm wondering, I mean, because we discussed this, but like, I'm wondering if it is a whole, you know, in the US, I'm like, well, I would recognize most of like the major British, like, you know, princes and princesses, like the major ones, you know, but I wouldn't recognize the fourth blobbity of blobbity of blobbity.
Right.
But in the UK, like maybe that is more recognizable, but we'll Google it.
We were trying to find an analog too about like how we would know what we would know. So like, is it like knowing an A-list celebrity, a B-list celebrity, C-list celebrity? Is it knowing our like local city government, who's mayor, who's state senator? Is it that way? Like, because I don't have a reference about how these folks are so familiar with her. So stay tuned for that. We'll come back to it. But we're back to the good time car. And Mark saying, you know, I just really struggle with people who don't have a sense of humor, who just aren't quick. And I'm like, don't we all?
Yeah.
You're not special in the way that you hate people who lack humor. And then he says to you, and this is very, very telling, and he'll drop these snippets. He says, if we must talk about emotions, we use humor to deflect. And that is a foreshadowing because the rest of the episode, every single person, except Margo, is trying to diffuse every situation, which Margo makes weird, with a bit of humor.
And interestingly, Margo is the one who says the whole time, I'm just trying to make it cool. I'm just trying to diffuse it. I'm just trying to set it to rest. No, ma'am. No, you are not. No, you are not.
No.
But yeah, Mark does say in the car, he goes, in Britain, we don't talk about emotions.
And Margo, I just want to take a pause. Let's talk about Margo for a second. Okay. Just generally speaking. We
could spend a whole episode just talking about her. We really dislike her.
Yes.
But also, bravo.
She is becoming increasingly harder and harder to like.
She is.
And
come on, the editors are really helping with that, right?
I have a theory.
Don't you think?
Yes, I have a theory. I feel like production hates Margo. You can always tell on reality shows who production really hates because they give them the most unflattering edit.
Don't you think that means that person really does actually suck in real life?
Right. Or they're mean to them, or they are like problematic.
She might like probably acts like she's like better than everybody and like, oh, go get me a water, you know, kind of thing.
She acts like a diva star. Yeah. And she probably also is always trying to manufacture her presence on screen. And so the producers are like, hey man, if you could just chill the fuck out, let me do my job and you do your job. But she continues to just harvest this victimhood. She loves to be a victim.
Sundi, she's being bullied. She told us multiple times.
Girl, you wouldn't survive 1 minute in a middle school in the damn early 90s. Girl.
She actually had the nerve to say, she is so auditioning, by the way. Okay, I stand by that. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
She is auditioning for something. I don't know what. But she actually has the nerve to say, he bullied me and put me in the corner. Like
a baby?
Like, ma'am, you are not Baby in Dirty Dancing.
Like nobody puts baby in the corner?
That is what she said. I wrote it down.
Out.
I wrote it down.
Get out.
Right.
I cannot. And so Missy, and you clock this too, Missy is a pot stirrer. She has her finger in every single thing. And like, she is going to press a bruise. So, you know, she says, Margo is quite sensitive. Or maybe it was Lottie that was saying this. She was like, Margo is really quite sensitive. The things you're saying are making her upset. And Mark Francis, forever the queen, he says, well, she can get over it or she can dress better. And to remind people.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not. And he
crushed velvet catsuit woman, ostrich, pigeon, whatever coat. Like, ma'am, get a stylist, okay?
Right. And so he has only talked about her
clothes, her outfits. And that she acts like she's
A drama queen. Yes. It's essentially a drama queen.
Yeah.
So he has talked about her poor fashion sense, dress sense, as Lottie says it, and her propensity for melodrama. But let's run down the things that Margo has said about him. He is a purse holder from Emma. He is fake. He desires attention and cannot be in any way, cannot show up authentically to anything. His family disowned him.
Right? That's not something you trot out as like I'm being funny, like, you know, like an acerbic wit kind of thing. Like, that's like brutal.
Right.
You don't talk about someone's family disowning them as being like that's not an equivalent comeback to like,
right.
Oh, hi ma'am, like what are you wearing, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, your mom never loved you and you're gonna go to hell.
Right.
Like, yeah, and so if we were to put it side by side, she's the bully. Like, she's the bad guy, but she is performing so loudly and so melodramatically, making fun of everyone else, that it's just so hard to watch because she is insufferable.
Well, here's another problem that I have with Margo. Okay.
Give it.
She says in this whole, talking about this whole like back and forth with her and Mark, she goes, it ends with me winning. No, ma'am. No.
I noticed that
Anyone who comes into any type of a fight with like the end goal of just winning.
Yeah.
You obviously have nothing invested in that relationship. You don't want to be in whatever that, whether it's a friendship, romantic, whatever. Like, if your end goal is about winning, then you don't care about the other person or people involved. You care about yourself and your ego. And I think that is where I really have this huge problem with Margo.
You need to say more about that. Ego.
Really, yes. Like,
ego is the thing.
She's just very self-absorbed and feels superior for some reason or something. And
what's so hard
it just rubs me wrong because the rest of the people, like, you can have differences, but
and what is so
don't
cringe
take it out.
She is so superior and acts so above it all and so indignant, but like she's actually the one that is like beneath it all. And that is what I'm finding so hard to watch. It's like a little bit of dramatic irony, which we see what's happening. We're zoomed out. We see the whole thing. And
well, I mean, as a psychologist, you know, usually the people who are the most insecure are the ones who act in this way and try to like, they project their insecurities on other people.
Like a you smelt it, you dealt it situation.
Right. There you go. That's a simple way of saying it.
That's my degree talking right there.
I like it.
But this is also that starts the conversation about British humor versus American humor. And
y'all, it took Micah a few years to understand it.
She's not there yet.
She's not there yet.
Emily, though,
bless her heart again. But like she's
no, she needs it.
You know what? B- for recognizing that it's taking a while.
Damn.
I'm not giving her an A, but like, you know,
I mean, an A-, maybe.
All right, B+.
She tries so hard. Just like give her the participation
trophy. Sunday, she tries so hard.
Give her the participation trophy that she needs in her heart. She's wilting on the vine if you do not acknowledge her effort.
I don't think I can give her that.
I want you to put your psychologist hat on for 1 second right now. Whenever Mark Francis says, most compliments are not necessarily authentic, but I don't care if it's a lie. Do you perceive that is a common human nature situation?
Well, no. That there was a lot to unpack there for me, actually. Like when I heard that, it gave me pause.
It hit my ear in a way, and I really want you to say, it's like, what is he emoting right here in this sense?
I mean, obviously, I'm not his therapist.
That's right. The views of the Ladies of London podcast are our own, and
these are completely wine-fueled ramblings of two middle-aged women.
Entertainment purposes only.
But I don't know. To me, that said a lot about maybe some issues that he's dealing with, you know, because I personally try not to give false compliments, you know, as a rule. there's going to be the occasional moment, where it's a big deal for them and they go, do I look okay? And you might be like, this is a tragic decision.
Case in point.
But we're in the moment now and I don't want you to feel insecure. So yes, that's fabulous. Let's go.
So
you're great.
Case in point, Emily walks in my house and I'm having some real cat issues. And I was like, hey man, does my house smell like cat? And she was like, I mean, yeah, a little bit. But that's the true, honest truth. I need that feedback. If she had just been like, no, it's great in here. I need that feedback because I am in an active battle. Go back and listen to previous episodes. I am in an active battle with a feral cat that is terrorizing me.
Now, that's also the difference in a 30-year friendship versus a casual acquaintance, If I walked into someone's house that I was barely friends with, or it was the first time they had me over and they're like, oh my God, I think my cat or my dog or somebody peed.
Damn, bitch, it stinks in here.
I might be like, oh, I don't really smell anything. No, it's probably, it's
good
fine,
for you.
Kind of thing. I would gloss over it. But in a true friendship, you're not asking me looking for a stroke my ego. You're asking me because we've been friends for decades.
That might be something interesting to kind of examine too, because Margo is trying so hard to fit into a friend group. Her and Missy both. The rest of these folks have been friends for a long time.
That's true. There is more history with the rest of them.
She makes a lot of comments about Mark and Emma being friends, and Kimmy and them. She
is so jealous.
Yes, she is.
Of Mark and Emma being friends.
Yeah.
And I get it. They are a little over the top sometimes, but also I have friends like that. I mean, you have friends like that. When we see people and we're like, I haven't seen you in a million years, when it's been 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever. And, it's kissy, double kisses, hugs, and I love you so much. But I don't have a problem with that. That's just how you respond when you see people that you just genuinely love being around and genuinely just love their energy and whatever. Yeah, exactly.
She's reacting to the enthusiasm that these folks have for each other because, and I'm willing to bet right now, Margo doesn't have a lot of female friends.
What?
Who's a psychologist now?
Sundi went and got her psych degree on the side.
So much is being dumped on the humor of it all, though, British humor versus American humor. But Micah would say yes to anything. You could insult anything. She's like, thank you so much. May I have some more?
Micah works with Muppets, so come on, all right. Let's keep, and not even she works with the Temu version of Muppets.
It's not even real Muppets. It's Temu. But in this car ride, when Margo's talking about how she's being bullied, I just wrote sighs forever because she's like, I'm being victimized. Missy endorses. And then we go back to the good time car in which Kimmy and Mark are putting a clinic on how to respond to you know what? Just come back smarter, come back sharper. Don't let it get to you. Keep it moving. And yeah, British or American, the more power you give to somebody, and I think that's also too what's fueling Mark's situation and Kimmy, the more she seems wounded and the bigger deal she makes it, the more he goes in on a situation. And it's stop handing him this. You are handing him all the ammunition this man needs.
100%. She's just continuing to fuel this fire because it's just amusing him. Stop amusing him and he's going to move on.
Right. And
he's kind of like a cat with a little toy.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's 40% mean-spirited and dangerous, but 60% I'm just going to leave it alone. But if you would just play dead, I would leave you alone. Yeah. And Margo is of the opposite thing. Well, playing dead is just not how I'm going to do it. I'm going to fight to the death. But she's outmatched by about 1 million.
Yeah. And I would have to say for Mark, I would give him 25% mean-spirited.
Okay.
I think
fair.
Generally, he's really just being witty. She's just giving him a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the same way. If you continue to give me ridiculous things that I can easily mock, it's just going to make me continue. Yeah. But I'm not mean-spirited.
Cut to last episode where Emily said porn star 732 times because I asked her to stop doing it. So there you go. Case in point. Martha is of my school.
So you don't want me to say that.
Well, you know what? I'm getting less and less on Margo's side. So you say whatever the fuck you want with them dumb children and that fucking sloppy husband. But Martha said this. This is an interesting exchange. So they're in the car and...
Wait, can we talk about Martha? How good she looks?
She looks so good.
Okay, I love her outfits. Every choice in this episode.
This
navy blazer over the lavender blouse. And I thought she did like a navy suit thing. And then when she got out of the car, it was jeans. Even more chic.
And
Martha,
the
the style, so good.
We're going to talk more a little bit later when they get into like their for real. But like she looks so good, like the sunglasses and all that. She looks, and I really hope that was a momentary lapse when she was feeling kind of like insecure about her looks because she looks so fucking good.
Oh my God, I know.
Like Martha clocks it, but like in the most passive way. I think it had been anybody else, then it could have gone a little bit like stronger into it. But she says, Margo says, you know what? They're just being so nasty. I don't understand why they're being so nasty. And Martha says, because you're being nasty.
Absolutely.
Stop being nasty and they'll stop serving nasty.
She goes, you're responding to it by being nasty. So,
yeah. And this is what is so...
What do you expect?
This is what I'm finding out really hard to digest about it is because she really wants us to be on her side and wants us to clock her as a victim. But the things that she's doing and saying and like performing is so much worse than everybody else. It's like, do you realize that I can see you? Is the bullying in the room with us right now? You're it. And I can't connect with her in that way. And I'm finding her to be so off-putting. And if she doesn't come around in the next 3 episodes, I'm wondering how another season is going to go for her. Because I have another Google we should do is like, what is fan reaction to her? Like, how are people receiving her? I need to go to Reddit to kind of see, are we the outliers? Are people rooting for her? I can't tell.
No one is rooting for her.
So they get to Longleat. We're here. We drive up. They've been in the car for 3 hours.
Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Mark Francis and Kimmy have been to Longleat.
Yeah.
Many times. Many times.
For those of us who haven't.
But also, that goes back to, again, they have a genuine friendship. Like, they were literally at Emma's wedding, along with 400 other people, but also her 30th birthday party and christenings. So these are genuine friends.
And, you know, when I show up to a party at your house or vice versa, there is an immediate familiarity with my house, with your house, with your family, with your thing that's just assumed.
That's true.
And these other women don't have that. And so for Margo to be so insecure about it and to like mock it in a way, I'm clocking she does not have a lot of really close girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Like she does not scream.
That's a good point.
Girls to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to read you some adjectives as they roll up. Idyllic, very British, palatial, magnificent, extraordinary, a feat of British architecture, amazing.
All 100% true. I have no comments, like absolutely no notes. Agreed. All of that. This place, I know we have gotten like some clips before on this season.
I had no idea,
you know, they had kind of shown Emma like going out and, you know, mud bathing a hippo or something. I can't remember what it was. But wow.
Right?
Wowza.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for sure.
This place, like the aerial shots of it, and
I mean,
there's a legit maze, y'all.
Yeah.
Like a maze that you would actually get lost in.
Mark stays 2.5 miles.
Not just the maze of my garage, like an actual maze.
I mean, the estate is so big that Mark stays 2.5 miles away.
In a pub.
The Bath Arms, which
their entire estate includes a pub.
Yeah. I have been to Bath. I did not visit Longleat, but the very first Pim's Cup that I ever had was in Bath, sitting next to the river, and it's very green and it's very beautiful, and this feels very, very specific.
Also, I mean, I thought that I was like not super jealous of Emma. Like I thought I was just like the tiniest bit jealous, but then I saw, y'all, she has an actual literal secret garden. Which is my dream in life.
Secret garden,
named
too.
the secret garden. Like, and that orangery. Holy cow. Okay. I could be so happy in life with the secret garden and the orangery. I don't even need the rest of the entire estate.
The orangery just felt like such a public space. We'll get to it in a second. But I don't know.
So beautiful.
It is. But really quickly, before we move on, Speaking
it's like
of
a conservatory,
Yeah,
which I've wanted since I played Clue for the first time.
That is what I was thinking we should be calling it. But just speaking of a feat of British architecture, I want to talk about Kimmy's work.
Also a feat of British architecture, because we got some flashbacks.
We did, and she looks very different.
Yes.
And, I mean, not better or worse, but different in a way that, and when you look at Kimmy, you do not clock that she's had any kind of real plastic surgery. There's not a tightness, there's not a shininess, but you can tell from then to now, she has had work. And so that means her work is real good. That means it's real expensive.
That's right. Kimmy girl, what's your doctor's number? Okay.
She is paying my mortgage for that shit.
Wow. Yeah, no, she looks amazing.
Yeah, and they drive up, and Emma's so cute. She's like in her little, fleece and her boots, and we get a little bit of history retrospective on Longleat, and they all arrive, and like Mark is super excited. We talked about this a little bit before, and Margo immediately in her confessional and in real time, there's a lot of eye rolling, but in the confessional, she does a very unflattering impression of Mark, and I'm just like jealous. Like, you're obviously jealous. Who can even be nice to you? How are you spending time with other people when you're acting like this? You are fucking poison.
Agreed. Yeah, the jealousy is like palpable, like with her.
It is.
She's so jealous. Mark runs up and gives Emma like the big hugs and the kisses, like we were talking about earlier.
And it is overblown a little, but it's fun. They're friends.
And also, again, that's his personality. I feel like that's Emma and Mark is that kind of energy. And they wish that they could just hang out 24/7. But lives.
And Marco bitchily was like, does he talk to his mom that way? I bet he does.
Yeah.
I bet there is a fair amount of like posh flair. And then maybe once they've been talking, they settle into it a little bit. But like, I bet that's his excited voice. I have an excited voice. Oh my God, you look so good.
Absolutely.
You have the same thing. Like,
absolutely.
And I don't know, Margo, she just needs to be around more women.
Also, don't call the hippos fat. Okay?
Oh my God. We're not quite there yet. I want to get there because I have a little bit of a diatribe surrounding that particular situation. So like, don't rush me.
Sunday takes way more notes than I do, so I'm always like jumping ahead because I only have like 5 notes.
And
down,
by way more notes, I've got like 15 pages. Emilie has 3. That's what it is. I watch it twice. She's just like here, but in between that, so this is where Margo talks about how much depth Emma has, and that she's starting to realize. And this is also too. I wanted to make fun of Margo for saying this, but like she's right. I don't think we understood the scope of what Emma is managing.
Did you just say understanded?
Did I? I stand by it. Fuck off. We are a bottle and a half deep, ma'am. But this is where too I started.
I love you so much, by the way.
Yeah. We sort of like understand that this is an endeavor that is kind of beyond what we can see from the outside. There's international research. There's all of this stuff. Like talking about the hippos. There's IVF stuff. There's all of this stuff.
There's IVF to like bring back an extinct species of the rhino.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
And so it's not a vanity project.
Yeah.
It's an actual like functioning like situation. And I found that to be very impressive for Emma. Because
it's very impressive, and it is definitely a way grander scheme than I realized when we first got like little glimpses of like, I live here.
I thought it was like this.
People come, whatever.
Like, vanity shit.
Yeah.
And that's one thing on the boat though. We can't skip over the boat with the sea lions.
And the monkeys.
Because what does the monkey give? What does Mark say the monkey's given?
Margo's pigeon outfit.
Now he knows where she got that.
There's the inspiration for the pigeon outfit.
And I wrote this here too because
some kind of a black and white monkey. It wasn't just a monkey.
I didn't
it was
write that
something
down. My notes
specific.
There's a gap in my notes there, but I didn't write it down. If this was our Top Chef covers, I would have wrote that shit down. But I mentioned here too, the more worked up she gets about it, and the more like bristled and more her ass is on her shoulders, the more joy Mark gets from teasing her.
She's making it more fun for him to keep
Yes, she
going.
is.
That's all it is.
Yes.
That's all it is. Wait, and are we still on the boat ride?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You were still on the boat ride. This is where the hippos come up and
the
Mark,
sea lions.
Well,
we feed the sea lions.
They feed the sea lions. And then remember, there's the hippos.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Somebody's like, how fast are they?
Right.
And this is where Margo, and this is how I know fucking production hates her, because this is the only line that they captioned on the screen when she says, wow, you're fast for a fatty. That's how I know that production hates her.
What a bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
What a bitch. Like, it's a hippo. What are you doing? Like, again, but also she thinks she's funny.
Yes.
This goes back to like what I was saying, I think at maybe it was like the My Fair Lady party where she was like so tired. But I was like, yeah, the only reason she's tired is because she spent that whole flight from LA back trying to come up with
sorting it out.
Funny quips, like things like that she thought would be like one-liners that would be like clever, you know? And she's not. She's not funny. I don't think that's your thing, Margo. No. Maybe you should find something else to try to be.
Be pretty and shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Okay? And wear your nipple tassels. I do have a practical question, which Jeff hates it when I ask him questions that he doesn't know the answer to, and this might be this instance. But what happens in the English winter for these animals that are like their natural habitat is Africa or warm water, like hippos and these monkeys? What's happening there?
I mean, I'm assuming it's like they've got whatever like kind of mechanisms or you know,
to change the weather
or whatever.
They got change the weather.
Whatever zoos have, you know, like something to like keep the water warm from freezing. You know,
they're gonna keep the river water warm.
Is it a river? I thought it was just a little lake on their property.
I mean, I don't know. We don't really get into it, but I'm just thinking she's making so much of how this is a conservatory and they are like just really making these animals in their best life. But like the English winter is real cold and it's real wet. And what's the hippo doing when he's having to chomp ice at the top of the whatever river it is? But you might be right. There may be some designated areas that they are controlling, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. Even here in Georgia, you know, like I'm thinking about like the Atlanta Zoo. I mean, there's a lot of wild animals up there that are definitely not native to the Georgia climate.
But they're not roaming free like these. They are in containment.
These are not roaming free. They're in a pseudo free, but come on, there's fences, there's parameters that they're having to stay within. So
yeah, it didn't make it look like they just had like free run of the place.
Yeah.
So I fell victim to the production in that way.
Yeah, I think they've got like.
So this is where we see that they're going to different like lot cottages. Micah,
these
Margo,
sleeping
and Lottie.
arrangements are super weird.
Okay, so Micah, Margo, and Lottie, that's weird. And Missy, Martha, and Kimmy, that's weird. And then Mark on his own in the bath.
Yes. I'm going to stand by this comment. It's weird.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Say more.
If I invite 7 of my friends to go like to the mountains or to go to the beach or whatever, like, hey, come go blah, blah, blah for the weekend.
How are we fellowshipping?
Like, I'm not putting you all in separate cottages. Like, we're going to stay together, you know? I mean, we're going to get a house that's big enough, or we're going to get, you know, an Airbnb that's big enough. We're going to get a hotel that's got multiple rooms or something.
They couldn't stay in Longleat itself?
Right.
Like, there's obviously 132
Emma,
rooms in that
your house has 4,000 rooms to it. Y'all couldn't all stay on one wing of that house?
I don't want y'all motherfuckers in here. No, stay out. Is what
no, she's like, you 3 over there, you 3 over there. Mark, you're at the pub. I'm going back to my bed. See you bitches later.
Yeah. I mean,
I just find that awkward.
And I didn't see hide or hair of a golf cart or an ATV. How are they getting in between?
There's definitely some transportation.
Yes, but we didn't see it.
Because Mark is 2.5 miles away at the pub.
At the pub. They chose this man to stay at the pub? Like, I don't know.
He even says, he's like, I mean, normally I would be like, stay at a pub. But he chose this one, I like it.
He chose the pub over these bitches. And then we get this little, like, fun little interstitial about the 2 different cars. And about, like, the fun car. They're having all this fun. Oh, is guinea fowl okay for Thanksgiving? Oh, I wore a sailor outfit. How's your German? Meanwhile, in the M car, they're like,
Missy's like, I really need a nap.
Yeah, so we know what clique we'd be in, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not in the M car. And then so they've gone to their fucking houses, and Margo again is plucking this fucking drum. She complains about how he said hi. She calls him fake. She says that he never even talks to her. And Can you imagine sitting across the table from this woman? I think Lottie had more patience for her fucking shit than I would have. I don't know if I could have heard one more fucking syllable out of her.
Let me tell you, too, Lottie, especially as a pregnant woman.
Oh, my God, bless her heart.
So she's got the pregnancy hormones.
Not even drinking.
And she's not drinking because, again, pregnant. And having to listen to this nonsense, like the fact that she did not stab her in the eye, I don't think we're giving Lottie enough credit.
We are not. We are not. Because she doesn't have any real sense to stand on. And I'm going to tell you right now, I typically do not love when people say it's not that deep. That feels a little dismissive to me.
It does.
But in this instance, it's not that deep, Margo.
Right.
Fucking move the fuck on.
Right.
Micah clocked it, though. She says Margo doesn't want anybody to like Mark. And if you like Mark, then you're not on my side. And friendships should not have sides. There should not be a you versus them. If you had a beef with a third friend of ours, I am not saying, Emily, don't you hang out with Brooke. Brooke, don't you hang out with Emily. I'm not doing that, right? That's not an adult thing to do. Emily's thinking, she's like, I don't know. I don't know who you're hanging out with.
Okay, so I'm thinking on this only because I think back to a time in college when we were out at margarita night at Laredo's, and my friend Lindsay was sitting next to me, and some girl walked in the restaurant, and Lindsay goes, I hate that girl. And I said, I hate her too.
You didn't know her, though.
I didn't know her at all.
There you go.
And she said,
that feels fine.
Oh, you hate her? Why? And I said, I don't know, because you do. And I said, real friends hate who you hate, which sort of became a little catchphrase amongst my college group.
I endorse this message.
But you're right. I have no idea. I couldn't have picked that person out of a lineup. But now when it comes to we've actually got already relationships going, you're right. I might not just go, oh, okay, Sundi, you don't like her.
Yeah,
I hate her too.
I'm not going to go to Brooke and Jeff's house anymore because you're mad at her. That's the sort of thing to do.
Which that's all hypothetical because we love Jeff and Brooke, obviously.
We love
They're
Jeff and Brooke.
two of our favorite people.
But before we get too far to the line, before Lottie even mentioned her nipple tassels, you did as well. So I want you to just talk a little bit about the nipple tassels on the Marchioness estate.
Okay, so Margo's outfit to travel to the home of the Marquis of Bath, you know, I literally looked at Sundi and go, what is she? Are these beads on her nipples? Because it's this white, knit tank situation.
It's just a beater
with beads on her nipple area. Although they didn't even really fall correctly on where her nipples would be. It was a little bit of a
wonky situation.
And then Lottie just literally calls it out, and she's like, I mean, Margo wearing nipple tassels to the Marquis of Bath's house, not appropriate. Agreed. Yeah, and then there was a point where, Margo did a little twirl kind of thing.
Like a burlesque.
To make the tassels swing around. So what are you doing?
If you're going to do this kind of shit, just lean into it. Lean into the inappropriate. Lean into the camp. Lean into the dumbassery. And then don't get mad because Martha says it later. What people are saying, if this is your brand, it's none of your business.
I find it hilarious that this is the one episode that Missy, her boobs are actually contained in all outfits.
We didn't see hide nor hair of Missy's boobs.
She
and
I take offense. Completely restrained, it was a high neckline.
Show me them tits,
everything.
Missy.
But then Margo's the one out here just, showing off all kinds of stuff.
More talk about British humor and more talk about how she doesn't understand it. And this is where she was like, of course I understand British humor. I become an adult here. I'm actually funny. I'm just not mean. You're the meanest.
Pro tip. If you have to tell people that you're funny, you might not be.
Yeah.
If you have to state that you are funny.
Yeah. That's like saying
you might not be objectively funny.
I'm a good person. People who tell you I'm a good person.
You're the worst.
You're the worst. Okay. So Lottie recommends standing up to him. She's not the first person to say that. She just loves being the center of attention. This is this whole tearful, nobody's on my side. I'm
all alone. Cue the tears.
Absurd. And I just wrote, is this woman developmentally 16? Something happened to her, and this is all conjecture.
How old was she when she filmed the porno?
21.
That might be mentally what age she's still
Maybe,
at.
maybe,
Yeah.
right?
We
So
may not have developed past there.
something happened to this woman along the way, and she got
I hope that's not it, because
stunted.
that's going to make me have sympathy for her, and I like disliking her.
I
to tell you the
dislike her
truth.
as well, too, but she has paused any kind of emotional growth, any kind of emotional development at a certain moment. The way she talks about these women, the way she makes fun of them, the way she perceives everyone's against her, she can't the saying "no one is on my side," and like Lottie even takes offense to it. Martha takes offense to it.
Such a martyr personality.
Yeah,
like, everyone's against me. No, people are not like actively against you.
Nobody cares.
People are just responding to the
Yeah.
nonsense that you put out there.
And then we move on to like the third or fourth fucking activity of the day. This is the longest day in history.
Longest day.
And this is where Martha is getting ready and she talks about she looks dumpy. Frumpy is the word I was searching for last episode. She doesn't. That yellow dress is fucking beautiful. That butter yellow is gorgeous.
Gorgeous. She looked amazing. My only note would just be, I wish she would stop with like the 40s pin curl hair.
I was working this episode.
It worked
though.
with this dress, I will say. I just would love to see a different hairstyle from her occasionally just to mix it up. That's my only thing.
Because she is relying very heavily on
But
this,
I will
like,
say
pinup
that
situation.
I have done a little Googling of her from past images, and compared to her Vivienne Westwood, like, shaved head hair days.
There's a shaved head era?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. Well, you know, Vivienne Westwood was like punk, you know.
Yeah, I
That
just
was
didn't
like,
know Martha was falling into
British
it.
punk. So when she was homeless, Vivienne Westwood discovered her. She was on the streets. Vivienne Westwood
Lord.
like walked
This is
by
the lore.
her and was like, "You should come model for me." And that's where we get Martha.
Wild.
Yeah, right?
That's wild.
Yeah.
But I mean, that feels like it tracks though.
Yeah.
These women have to walk to the orangery.
I don't know if they really had to walk the whole way.
We saw them walking. We saw them walking.
We saw them walking for a few feet. I don't know that they walked the whole way.
And then Lottie's whispering to Miss A. She's like, "Listen, I was trying to talk to her about it. I was just trying to tell her, downloading her about it."
Yeah.
And, of course, she's insulted. And what are we? Spent milk? We're on your side. Cut to,
I agree with Lottie. Like, if somebody that I'm like standing up for, I'm on their side, and they're just over here going, "Nobody likes me. I'm all alone. No one stands up for me. Everyone's against me."
embarrassing.
Like, well, fuck off, man. Like, I'm not going to stand up for you anymore, Margo. Like, I've been trying to be on your side, and apparently that's not good enough.
We've had a situation in that way in which someone, kind of did not clock our friendship as like present enough. But then we cut to, I guess everybody was late because Em was like, "I don't know where the fuck these motherfuckers are."
Oh my God. The people the servers were like, "Are your friends coming?" And she's like,
Late as hell.
I hope so.
Well,
Emma, why did you put them 2.5 miles away from each
yeah,
other?
they had to walk the whole way, motherfucker. That's what you get.
Okay, so are we going to talk about all of the outfits?
Okay,
What
let's talk about
everybody's
them.
wearing?
Let me talk. Yes, absolutely. Who is your favorite?
Oh, favorite, Emma. I loved it.
Oh, really?
Loved
I
it.
feel like I understand. You know who mine was? And this is controversial. Micah. With the pink.
The pink?
It was a pink halter.
That was a gorgeous dress, actually.
And it had
I do
a belt.
love it.
And it had an A-line skirt. It looked so good. It was so flattering on her. It looked really, really good.
Her hair was like, okay, it was maybe better than in previous episodes because it wasn't so slicked back that I felt like she was trying to give herself a facelift like the rest of the ponytails. But God, her highlights are so streaky and terrible that please just show me your natural color.
I need to
okay,
know.
please just show me your natural color.
I need to know.
Okay?
It's a goddamn, it's like a national secret.
But the dress was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Martha was beautiful.
And were they palazzo pants?
No, it was a dress.
It was a dress.
Just sort of like
Okay.
was real flowy, and when she walked, I think sometimes.
And Kimmy just is very
Mark,
consistent.
gorgeous.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Impeccable with like the blazer, khaki, the little
Pocket square.
thing. I couldn't think of the name of it.
And then he's like, "Oh my God, look at this palette. All you needed."
Kimmy was fine. Like, great dress, but just very
consistent.
Yeah. Like, okay, it's another short sleeved flowy green dress. Like, we get it. That's your signature thing.
You mentioned again.
Mix it up a little bit.
Missy's titties are away.
Missy looked beautiful. White linen, like, A-line, just classic kind of dress.
We're going to get to Margo's dress in a minute.
Okay, Lottie raided Michael Jackson's old closet, or Sgt. Pepper's.
That's what I wrote. I wrote Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
Sundi and I had two different takes on it. She goes, is this Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club? And I said, I thought it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so
it was
different.
The whole head to toe. Lottie, no ma'am. Okay, no.
We get to the orangery, and this is where Emma got married. Very small, very intimate gathering of 400 people. If you put a gun to my head, I couldn't name 400 people that I would want to have in one place. Like,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Do you? What?
My wedding had like 350.
Oh my God.
So,
who?
Yeah.
Who
just
is
everyone. All the people. I don't know. All the people.
My wedding had 80 people. We had 80 people.
Yeah.
And the bar tab was a tab for 1,000 people.
Listen, if I ever do it again, huge if.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I'm very happy not trekking down the aisle again. But like, if it ever happens, I would keep it to like 50 or less. I mean, that even to me feels like a big number.
Well, with
for
this
that,
crowd, I'm saying we had.
But
80.
I was young, and it was a thing, and we had big families, and all the people, and we wanted a big party, and it was a big party, and it was super fun. Don't get me wrong.
Our wedding was very fun too. But the 80
gorgeous,
people,
but 400 is a lot.
Drank enough, and the 80 people drank enough for 1,000 people. So when I paid that bar tab, it was.
I personally drank enough for 100.
I know you did. Everybody who went said the same thing. Okay, so this is where I had some questions. I had to pause and ask you. So we're talking about Micah standing around, and she talked about her, quote, big event. What is the big event? Do we know it? Is she keeping it secret on purpose? What the fuck is it? It's only 100 people. She's not trying to teach etiquette. She's teaching the art.
Yes, I was about to say, she says.
Do it.
Teaching the art of showing up.
Emilie, is this real? Is this an MLM? Is this a cult? What is happening?
What? The art of showing up. And then she goes on to say, like, I'm definitely not teaching etiquette to the British, Well, what are you doing? But that's actually what you've been saying your whole brand is that you're teaching etiquette. So what is the art of showing up? Like RSVPing and then arriving? I don't get it.
We showed up today, so are we all clear? It's so weird, and like etiquette is more than knives and forks, and I just this is so fucking weird.
Which is so true. Etiquette is much more than knives and forks, but again,
be specific.
Are you teaching? This does feel very like pyramid scheming.
Yeah, that's what I say. Is it an MLM? Is it a cult? I don't know. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you can tell a lot about a person about how they talk about Martha Stewart. If somebody uses Martha's first name exclusively, like, oh, yes, I would love to be Martha. That's a red flag, okay? I do not know this woman, so I'm going to use her first and last name, Martha Stewart. Guess what Micah does? She uses her first name. Oh, well, I don't know I really look up to Martha. Red flag.
In her defense, which, I'm slow to defend Micah. Okay, she's not my favorite. But someone said to her, oh, you're the Martha Stewart of etiquette.
Right. That person said her first and last name. That person said, you're the Martha Stewart of etiquette. And she replied, oh, I love Martha.
Okay.
I love Martha Stewart.
I missed that part.
And that is just, that's a flag. I don't know. I'll get into it later, but that's a flag that you perceive yourself in a tier that is something else.
Also, you're not the Martha Stewart of etiquette.
No, we don't even know what you're doing. We don't even know what this pyramid scheme you're doing. Like, no, ma'am.
Right. I mean, no. Okay.
Okay, so this is where shit went real left for Emilie. When Margo gets up, walks to the counter, helps herself to the food, even says out loud, I don't know if this is for consumption, but fuck it, I'm eating it anyway. Whoa, that is red flag.
Audience, I was screaming at the television, no, 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 no.
She was.
No. I thought I was going to have an aneurysm watching this. Okay. So there are like when you have a tea, you have these tiered trays and they bring them to you. The teas that I've been to like, a formal tea kind of thing a couple of times just as a fun thing before. And normally it's like one of those tiered trays, normally in my experience, for 2 or 3 people to share.
Real quick, if you want to see the tiered trays in question, go back to our very first episode in which Emily made this beautiful spread for me. There was very many tiered trays there. Go back to Instagram or TikTok to see that.
I love a tiered tray. Okay?
Yeah, you do.
But so Margo just walks over to the bar
she's hungry.
where these are all prepped and waiting to be served.
Wow.
And just picks a couple of them up and takes them not even to the main table, not even to the table that is obviously set for these 8 people. She just takes them to some other little table and sits down and starts shoving tea sandwiches in her face.
And demands cutlery. She's like, I don't even have a knife or a fork. And Micah is sitting there. Micah's like, coughing, like choking on the bad form of it. Like she's physically reacting to Margo doing this.
Yeah, and Micah's this did crack me up because she was like, she was so appalled by it, but also like she's made herself be so restrained. So she's like, no. And then she's like, that's actually not good
you
manners.
You could hear her in one of the scenes when Margo goes to pick up. She's like, no. She couldn't do it. Emma and Mark clock it. They don't make a scene about it, though. Emma just very graciously invites everyone to go sit. What a beautiful host would do. I'm not singling anybody out. Everybody come sit down. And Martha, I don't understand what Martha doesn't want to be tartar about, which means like bad manners or bad tempered. What does Martha not want to be tatar about or tartar?
Oh, I don't know. I got confused.
Yeah.
And my notes here, I can't read my handwriting. But Emma said a definite thing about like, I guess some people are having their tea there already. And Mark goes, without being asked?
Right. But.
Which, yes, like you. At an event like that, you would wait for the hostess to say, "Would you like your tea to be served? Let's sit and have our
invited
tea."
to sit down, and
and
Margo
Margo
gracious
just
about
like crashes down. No one is like thinking this is an okay thing. Then they have to ask her to move to like the big table, which was the table they were supposed to be sitting at.
Margo is not beating the ugly American allegations.
No,
in any way, shape, or form. She's not
doing us any favors.
Yeah, and then they have this whole conversation, Martha, about cream or jam. I'm a cream first, jam second.
Obviously, y'all, when you're putting cream and jam on a scone, the cream is basically like butter. It's not
right.
It's not a liquid. It's a spread that you put on the scone. Would you ever make a piece of toast and throw some jelly on there and then be like, let me throw some butter on top of that jelly?
But
no.
Margo takes this opportunity to say that's very British to judge you on your jam or cream situation. And I'm just like, you know what? You're obviously doing it wrong then. If you're getting judged by it, you're doing it wrong. And this whole scene is very British compared to, somebody says, so British with the tea and the Longleat and the jam and the cream. It's very, very British.
Well, yeah. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That is literally what I'm watching this show for.
And we're sitting
around.
What I
want to see.
And I have a question. This is breaking news.
Yeah.
Emma has a wonky eye.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't got to, but she does, y'all. Emma's got a wonky eye.
Okay. It did look a little wonky. But, I mean.
But
also, I think a lot of people maybe have a little bit of that going on that you don't realize because she seemed very tired on this show. Like, I think there had been a lot of prep and a lot going on. And so, I mean, I know from people in my life who have had eyes that they've had to, like, work to get straightened when they get tired, it can drift a little.
I mean, I'll give grace.
She's still
to
beautiful.
a drifter, I'm telling you right now, if you
it.
ever witness my eye drifting, please tell me so I can see a doctor. Just saying.
Okay.
Then there's this whole talk about there's no rule book for aristocracy. How ironic is that? Seems like there would be 100% a rule book that you have to do this, do that, do this, do that. There's no rule book?
Well, not a public one.
Well, I'm just saying because she had to, learn on the fly.
Now, according to, stories, because she's no longer with us, but Princess Diana said that there was a person who used to have to guide her on like, this is what you're supposed to do. Because, you know, you're not supposed to like touch the queen.
Right.
You're not supposed to do certain
You can't
things.
stand up
You're not
before
supposed to
she
wear
does.
certain colors.
Can't turn your back on her.
There were only certain nail polish colors that the royal family was supposed to wear. They're not supposed to wear certain types of shoes and different things.
Feels like there should be an absolute rule book.
No, they've got to keep that secret to keep the like mystery.
I mean, I would not do well. I would just be floundering and just like so stressed about I'm breaking the rules.
Okay, but Kimmy cracks me up because she starts talking about like I guess someone was like asking her, or maybe this was in one of her like, you know, interviews, confessionals or whatever, you know, and she's like, oh, well, you know, a weekend in the country, you have drinks in the car, and then you have drinks at the house, then you have drinks at tea, and then you have
Kimmy's
afternoon drinks, and then you have pre-dinner drinks, and then you have drinks at dinner, and then you have drinks back at the cottage. What else are you going to do in the country? Truth.
She says
Truth.
this.
I love that. What else are you going to do in the country?
Emilie, they moved to another location.
I know.
And that's why she's saying, like, okay. Also, too, a little tidbit. Emma watches Family Guy. Got a little tidbit there. But yeah, they moved to another.
She did say something about, like, laying on the floor watching Family
wearing
Guy.
her tiara.
Yeah, that's right,
So
about the tiara.
Yeah, so they moved to another fucking location in which they are doing an outdoor situation. There's a Pimm's cup. I have absolutely had a Pimm's cup in Bath.
Cup.
Yes. Not gin, no, it's vodka for me.
Also, though, Kimmy ordered a champagne with ice.
Yeah.
So we discussed this
maybe because it's outside.
Pre-recording. I am not above throwing a little ice cube in my Savvy Bee, but like...
Not her Savvy Bee.
But like, champagne over ice? I mean, all right.
I mean, you know what? She's a professional drinker.
You do you,
I'll take her word for it.
Whatever. I don't know. It seemed a little odd.
More and more, Margo wants to be a victim, blah, blah, blah. There's so much attention on Margo that this is what she wanted, right? And this is where Martha's like, listen, what people say about you is none of your business. Just keep it moving. Lottie, always the messenger of the group, is debriefing to Mark. Listen, I told her that she just doesn't get you and she's got to like keep it moving, but you know, she's not doing it. And Missy's like, well, she feels attacked. Girl, come on. So Mark is far too young to know what a visible penny line is, right? Like that is some shit my mom said in the 80s.
Oh no, he told us. He grew up knowing what that means.
Well, I did. And that is what's the most offensive thing about Margo's just general existence is that he can see her underwear. And you mentioned it before Mark even did. You are 3 steps ahead of Mark and every time because we see it. We see her underwear, y'all.
I mean, I had to make Sundi like pause and rewind. And she's like, what am I looking for? What?
Yeah.
It was so offensive to me. I do not want to see your underoos, Margo. Okay?
Not your underoos.
Like, you do not wear a transparent skirt when you're going to like a fancy ass place. Also, she had her boobs all hanging out.
Yeah, it's not chic.
No one else was like rocking like the cleavage like you were, Margo. Like, take a note.
I mean,
she was also the only one wearing a shorter dress.
Yeah.
It wasn't short, but like, I don't know. I mean, just Google it. Have you not looked at any pictures of what people wear to like afternoon tea in Britain?
But
like
these folks
her entire outfit, head to toe, none of it was right. The shoes were wrong. The skirt length was wrong. It was see-through. It was an alaya, according to her, which
I didn't know. Emily had to educate me.
All right, Clueless.
She mentioned Clueless.
It's a totally important designer.
Yeah, and I watched the clip. I had to go back and do it. But here's the thing here. Mark
was terrible.
Mark is culpable in this too. The more he like refuses to interact with her and like keep her at arm's distance, the weirder he's making it. Just cut it. Like have a conversation with her, make it go away. Even if the conversation is like, fuck you, dummy, I can't deal with it. But he's making it so weird. And it's keeping it alive.
I don't know. I kind of am with him on this one a little bit. I kind of see, well, I don't know if
he does not want a confrontation.
I don't know if I'm with him necessarily, but I see where he's coming from because, all right, wait, but before the confrontation too, like when he makes the comment to Missy about like how he can never truly be friends with someone who wears a transparent dress, she's like, I wear transparent clothing all the time.
Lottie's like, the one I'm wearing tomorrow is transparent.
Yeah.
Which,
All right.
leads to,
well,
it's personal. It's not about the transparent dress. He just hates Margo, which, fair, she sucks.
Right, she sucks. But like, okay, you guys have had, all right, we've had a 3-hour car ride. We've had getting ready at the cottages. We've had the jungle cruise. We've had tea at the orangery. We've had Pim's cups in the garden. This is not the time, Margo, to be like, come on, Mark, let's settle our differences here and now in front of everyone.
Shouting it out.
I'm with him on this, on him being like, no, I'm not having that conversation with you.
I agree there. But
then they both just sort of like, neither one would budge at all, and it escalated. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it got so awkward.
It was so awkward. Like, it was making me like feel all clenched up. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. I'm glad I wasn't there.
Missy is a terrible ref, like a referee. She cannot like judge each person's temperament. She is like,
no,
she's just making it worse, especially when she tells Margo that Mark said something about her dress, and Margo, ever the insecure 10th grader, what did he say exactly? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh,
if that was me,
that was so high school. That was. I had such terrible flashbacks right there, because that was a definite mean girl lunch table.
Yeah.
Like, tell me the exact words that he said, because I want to go discuss it with him.
Yeah,
basically,
I don't want to know what they said. You gonna say something mean about me? Okay, fine. I don't need to know. It's none of my business.
No. And this is where I made the comment, and I really stand by it, that Missy she is really trying to insert herself, and she's trying to act like, oh, I just want peace. I just want to make peace with everyone. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You are a pot stirrer, ma'am.
You want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
You want to be in the mix of it.
She is liking churning it up.
This whole exchange when they're shouting across that, I couldn't. I cannot. She's being really gross. And this is where
tacky.
It is. It's so tacky. And this is where Mark says, oh, this is just so vulgar. I'm going to have to leave. And he gets up and exits. And it makes Kimmy furious that this man gets up. Like, he didn't have to leave. You could have come over here.
Right.
Why are you doing this? You're a fucking bitch. And she says, my favorite insult ever, you fucking crybaby bitch. Girl, period. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to say. You crybaby bitch. That's the last word.
That's hilarious.
That's the last
Sundi
word.
and I definitely both wrote down that quote.
That's it. And because we get screeners, we have no idea what's going to happen next. I think they're still at
Bravo. To be continued?
Right.
What are you doing to me, man?
But,
that's harsh.
But
I had a preview at least. I didn't know Bravo would just leave us hanging like that.
I bet we could go online and look at it, especially as we get closer. But I did a little research based on our conversation last week and some of the questions that were raised. I did it, and this is our little segment called, we answer questions that we ask of ourselves.
that probably no one else cares about.
And also, too, I'm workshopping that title. It's under review. But we're talking about the sun signs or the star signs. And so I looked up the sun sign and the moon sign of every one of our characters.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to guess which one. Okay. Micah. I guess Micah was a Libra. What do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Right. She's a Cancer sun with a Virgo moon.
Mm-hmm.
Feels right up. She's got some Virgo energy with here, let me work this out. I need to be this way. I'm speaking as a Virgo, right? I also have a Cancer.
I've also got a couple Cancers in my life, and I can definitely see some Cancer energy from her.
So I have a Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Martha, a Sagittarius sun and a Cancer moon. The Sagittarius.
I knew that as a fellow Sagittarius.
Well, the Sagittarius.
I definitely pegged her as being a fellow. Yeah.
Really? I don't know. She just doesn't have the boldness that I associate with a Sagittarius.
I knew she was free-spirited. So I was thinking Sagittarius. I also could have seen Leo for her.
I could have seen Cancer for her as well. She has a very sensitive heart. She's very, very, where the Mark Francis, Libra sun, Aries moon. I would have in a million years ever clocked this man for a Libra. Libras are very diplomatic. They want everybody to get along, and they're the middle child of the zodiac.
I would have said Scorpio for him.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. Emma,
and I love a Scorpio, so that's not a diss on Scorpios.
I'm a Virgo sun, but I'm Scorpio. Everything else, rising, moon, house, all of that. Scorpio. I more identify with a Scorpio than I do a Virgo. But Emma is an Aries sun and a Libra moon. The Libra really kind of comes into it. The Aries, she's got a little bit of a fire, especially as we see some of the way she cares the animals. Miss A is a Virgo sun. We're Virgo sisters. And a Libra moon. She feels right. Lottie, also a Virgo. Scorpio moon. Kimmy, this tripped me out. You cannot find on the internet Kimmy's age or month of birth ever.
Yeah, I noticed that when I tried to Google her too. Like, it's like birth date unconfirmed.
There is nowhere that lists this woman's age.
Fucking legend.
That is iconic. I love that
legend. Okay?
I love it so much.
Once again, love you, Kimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, we really worship
that's
Kimmy.
So good.
That's amazing.
Margo, Scorpio sun, the Sagittarius moon, which Scorpio, maybe it's in her and this is going to bring it out, but she's got to go. Also, last week we talked about, does Martha have a son? Or a child?
Right. You thought that she had a kid. Yeah.
I did. So I was right. But
yeah?
It is, yes. So she had this child at 17. This is all sort of like,
oh, wow.
I gathered it from reports. And so who knows what's true and what's not. But she had the child at 17. Her aunt raised him.
Okay.
The father is unknown. And I think because she was so young, the aunt sort of identifies as the child's mother.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can see that. That totally tracks with what I had seen from like what I had looked up online of her being a little bit like, untethered as a teenager, a little bit, maybe wild child a little bit, and then having a wild 20-something, life where like definitely being a mom.
And the baked-in guilt that she's feeling about her life choices, all that stuff. So that's it. About Margo's stepchildren, this is where it gets a little murky. I read some reports that say they do live with her full time. That she moved them from the States to England. Now that you take this with a grain of salt. You never know what the blogs are saying, but that is what is out there, and so that is a different conversation.
Margo, hire them a tutor.
Hire them a tutor.
Yeah,
because they're gonna get bullied real bad.
Because the United States didn't get our freedom from Abraham Lincoln.
Well, if they're going to live in Britain, who gives a fuck what happened in the American history? Who gives a fuck?
All right. So for next time, Sundi, we are going to Google a few things. Okay. We're going to Google whether you can Airbnb the Longleat cottages. Okay. I also was interested in just looking up other homes as tourist attractions.
Okay.
I would be interested in just finding some other places that people live.
What other historic places you could stay at for sure?
Why do people recognize Emma?
Yes, that's important.
Is she just famous on her own?
That's important.
Because it was interesting on this episode because these episodes have not aired when this one was being recorded and people recognized her. Too. And, also, what did they used to look like? I want to pull up some definite pictures because this was another thing that came up. So there were some wedding pictures of Emma.
That's right.
That Sundi was like, oh, she's lost a lot of weight. But when we paused and went back to look at it, her body was still very thin like she is now. But her face was a little different.
It's changed. And
I do have to say, though, thinking back, my face shape, I feel like has changed as well. And I think part of it is just as we age, we lose some of the fat in our face.
Really? Because I feel like it's going the opposite way for me.
So when I look at pictures of myself in the 20s and even early 30s, I had a lot more fullness lower down in my face. Even at times where I felt like I was relatively thin and my face seems to have kind of hollowed out a little bit more at the bottom, So, we're going to look at some pictures of what they used to look like just so we can kind of...
especially looking at Kimmy.
Yeah.
because whatever work she's got done is looking real good.
Ooh,
She looks great.
I'm going to add that to the list.
Yeah.
Like, what work have they all done that they admit to?
We'll
and then fan reaction to Margo.
I need to know, are we in the minority here in which we hate her so much? Like, who?
Absolutely not.
Well, we'll see. But until then, find us on socials, go look at the calendar. We have all kinds of fun things. And leave us a review to help us get seen and get us popped to the top of the algorithm.
That's right. And next week, guys, I'm going to be long distance.
That's right. Remote but goat.
Casting from the mountains because I am going on my spring break vacation
alone.
Solo. I'm not going to keep another being alive for 5 whole days.
This bitch said, I'm going by myself. Goodbye. I'm going
Goodbye.
to the house.
Goodbye, dogs.
Nobody join me.
Goodbye, children. Goodbye, boyfriend. Goodbye, everyone in my life.
Love it. But that also means since we're remote from GOAT, you can watch our broadcast. You can watch our show. Maybe. We'll see how
that goes.
We'll see how fit it is. So. But we'll see you next week.
Bye.